Today, we're going to be looking at the 4 basic antenna types that every new amateur radio operator needs to know, and how the best to utilize them at home or at the park when you're playing Parks on the Air, or in any general sense. Let's go ahead and start at the beginning. An antenna is the wire that you use to transmit or receive signals. An antenna is used on mesh-tastic devices. They're used on these Pi sharing nodes, and they're on your Wi-Fi router, and they're the multiple antennas on the phone. And antennas can what makes and breaks your whole radio setup, because if you don't transmit in the right way and that wave propagates correctly, you're not going to be able to make that contact you want to do. So it's very important to select the right antenna for the system that you're trying to create. So your basic 4 antennas are your dipoles, is the easiest antenna to create, a vertical, a Yagi antenna, and an antenna that is very popular for POTA, that's Parks on the Air activations, called end-fed half-wave. And we're going to go into each one of those individually and talk about their use case and their designs and how they irradiate or receive a signal. First antenna we're going to be talking about is a dipole. A dipole is a very simple antenna that uses 2 wires fed in the middle of the antenna that creates the wave. So one end, let's just draw it out, and I'm going to try something different today. We are over here on my build desk, and I got a sketch pad, so we're going to try to be drawing here as I talk, and we'll see how that goes. I'm hoping that it goes nicer than me trying to poke the computer over here and draw and then talk, and I don't know. So we'll just see how this works. We're going to start with a dipole. A dipole is a simple antenna. Like I said, there is 2 elements to it. We're going to draw one red, one end purple. You might see where I'm going with this in a second. And we have our feed line in the middle. This is what goes to our radio. Radio. This feed line here has 2 ends coming off of it. In the coax, if you undo it, you're going to find a main copper core, and that is your positive end. The shielding mesh on the outside is your negative end. And the center line is going to be the positive, and this other line is going to be your negative. The radiation pattern of this antenna, since it's broad like this, is going to be coming off the antenna and lobes going out like this and this on this side, or just kind of all the way across as it radiates out on both sides. I'll use a different color next time for the signal coming off the antenna. But this is also important to show that this antenna is directional. So let's go ahead and just kind of use this part of the paper down here now. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit and use a coordinate system. So here's my north end, and here is the antenna transmitting, different color. We're going to use green for the signal going out in the north direction and the south direction. So that means we're going to have great reception to the north and south of us, but anything coming in from the east or west is not going to be able to receive it. So it's going to be very, very difficult down in the noise to receive it because we're not lined with that signal. The next antenna we're going to be talking about is a vertical antenna. A vertical antenna is an antenna that is, as you can figure it out, straight up in a vertical fashion. And then our negative part, what was negative? Purple. We call counterpoises, are ran along the ground for the counterpoise system. So that means off the feed line coming in to the antenna from the radio, we're going to do it like that. It's not a satellite dish. This is representing the wires as they fray up looking down onto the cable if you kind of dissect it that way. The center pin in the middle originally is going to the positive end. Then your counterpoise system is going to be the negative end of the antenna system. Now, as far as how it transmits, it's going to be transmitting in a omnidirection. So any direction is just going to be transmitting kind of at this 2D plane, transmitting out like this and like that to that direction, and also coming at us and away from us. I don't know how to draw that. Let's go ahead and look at top down. So there is the pole, and then we have our counterpoise system. This one is a 4-wire counterpoise, and the antenna is going to be radiated out from the vertical element in all directions. And that is how you're also going to be able to receive signals, is from any direction into your antenna. So this antenna will be great if you're trying to receive signals from all over and not trying to directionize your transmission out. Now let's say that you want to target a specific area and try to have the best chance to receive and transmit a signal to a particular location. And the best way to do that is with a Yagi antenna. A Yagi antenna is a directional antenna that takes all the transmitting power and tries to focus it in a single direction. And it also helps to receive signals because it's also trying to focus that signal into a single receiving point on the antennas. So how it does that is, again, kind of like our Yagi antenna, we have the positive and negative elements, and then we have elements behind it that aren't connected that reflect the transmitted signal back at the single direction, and then in front of it we have smaller elements that helps focus the antenna, and the last element's shorter than everything else. And the feed line coming up here, again, our little satellite dish, but it's not a satellite dish. The positive end is connected to one of the elements in the middle, and the negative end is connected to the other element. On a Yagi system, the element where you're transmitting and receiving on is called the driving element, and that is this element here. The main big element behind it is called the reflector, and I forgot what these other ones are, but they help to focus the signal forward. So if we look at how the signal comes out of here, in general, again, I probably will put something at the top saying these are all theoretical. We're going to have Paul come on and help us model these antennas and see what they actually look like and see if I was right. I could be wrong. How this system transmits and receives is up and out of the area of the shortest element, and it focuses all that energy and punch it forward. Yagis are used for 2-meter fox hunting and 70-centimeter fox hunting. They're used for moon bounces. They're used to, if you have a piece of equipment way down there and it's very hard just to receive a signal off of your omnidirectional vertical, you put this out there and you can just beam the signal right back and it'll be able to receive it. You probably have two of them pointing at each other. That is the best way of using this. We talked about dipoles, we talked about verticals, we talked about directional Yagi antennas. The next one is an end-fed half-wave, and is best ran as a sloper. A sloper antenna gives us the best between a vertical antenna and horizontal antenna. So this antenna has a long positive end of the antenna, and then you have the feed point down at the bottom. Ooh, look, you can't see that. And here is the feed point right here. We have our feed line going to our radio. Like a vertical antenna, this will also have a line coming out called the counterpoise. The counterpoise are magic, and it is too much to go into here. But if you don't have a counterpoise on, and this is called an end-fed half-wave, it is actually going to use your coax cable as a counterpoise, and is going to be trying to transmit and radiate out of your feed line here, and that's going to come back into your radio. So a counterpoise is always nice to have, and I won't say essential, but Smoking Ape says always be counterpoising, and I kind of do agree. Let's get back to it though. So again, the center positive end of the feed line is going to be connected to, I'm going to kind of walk back a bit on that there. Majority of these end-fed half-waves have balance in the middle, and these are also a form of magic, and I don't know how they work. They're magic, and Smoking Ape has tried to get me to understand them several times. But somehow this helps the signal as it goes positive and negative switch between them. And this is a 9-to-1 wind, and that means something. Y'all are yelling at me at the comments, and I'm sorry I don't know that magic part, but let's get back to how this receives signals. Kind of like a vertical antenna, this is going to be able to receive radio waves coming in any direction to it. So in from here, and it's behaving kind of like a vertical. Also though, it is using the ground a little bit to help reflect the signal back up into the sky. So it's kind of directional, but yeah, I'm hoping the model's going to show us how this is going to be done, and Paul's going to be coming on the next one to help us model. This antenna is the easiest antenna to go and play parks on the air. It's very easy to set up really fast and throw into a tree, or you have a mast that you run it off of and you just lean it into a tree, and it's going to give you the best results at the quickest setup. I have used vertical antennas with field day and playing POTA, and it's just kind of which one in your area kind of works best and which one you want to set up, because sometimes setting up these vertical systems you got to run counterpoises, and if you don't have all the land to run the counterpoise systems the best, it's going to affect the antenna, and maybe the simplest for you to fall and fed half-wave up into a tree. I'm looking forward for Paul coming on to help us model these antennas so we can actually see the theoretical how the transmission is going to propagate out. Then after that, I'm going to be taking all these different antenna systems out, and I'm going to be playing POTA with the help of the logging applications. I am going to show you the contact map, and I hope that we're going to be able to see which map I use for which antenna. Well, thank you all for watching. I really do appreciate it. Y'all are awesome and amazing. And thank you to all my Patreon supporters, and thank you to all my YouTube members. That's it. I think that's simple enough. Let's go ahead and have some fun out there. And as always, go forth and conquer.